All right, so get this, 23 snails.
23 snails.
Yeah, 23 snails.
Okay.
That's the title.
Someone actually sent that in.
You sent this in. Like, honestly, who thinks about snails, let alone 23 of them?
Right.
But trust me, this is not some weird nature documentary.
Yeah, no.
This is about communication
Yeah.
and creativity and making sure that, you don't just blend into the background.
Yeah, you really stand out.
Yeah, you're not just another face in the crowd.
And what I find really interesting is how this author, kicks things off.
Oh, yeah.
It's not your typical be your best self kind of pep talk.
No.
We're thrown right into this crazy scene at an airport.
An airport, really?
Yeah, Nuremberg Airport, to be exact.
Specific.
With this customs officer who's probably seen it all, I mean, just think about the stuff that goes through customs.
Oh, I can only imagine.
But, the author does not hold back on the details.
The detail.
Yeah, I mean, you can practically smell the, shall we say, aroma emanating from this very suspicious suitcase.
Okay.
It's like sensory overload just reading the description.
Oh, is it really that bad?
It's vivid, yeah.
I mean, I can handle it.
You can handle it, but it's really masterful how the author builds this suspense, describing these like slimy, pulsating shapes, the sounds.
Okay, I'm getting a little grossed out now.
You're instantly hooked, though, wondering what in the world could be lurking inside that bag.
Yeah, you got me.
Like one of those bad reality shows.
Oh, come on.
That you can't stop watching even though you know it's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's like those Real Housewives shows.
Exactly.
You know they're going to fight, but you can't turn it off.
You can't turn away,
Exactly.
And then bam, the reveal.
Oh, what is it?
Not drugs.
Okay.
Not weapons.
What is it?
23 African giant snails.
23 African giant snails.
Talk about an unexpected twist.
Okay, so we've got snails now.
You're left thinking, okay, where's this going?
Yeah, what's the point of these slimy stowaways?
What's the point? Exactly.
So help me out here. Why snails? Is there some deep philosophical meaning I'm missing? Besides, trying to gross us out.
Well, think about it.
Oh.
These snails were tucked away in a suitcase completely unnoticed until they were literally brought into the light.
Brought into the light?
Yeah, like someone opened up the suitcase and said, hey, look, snails.
Snails.
And the author uses this as a metaphor for hidden potential, for the talents and ideas we keep bottled up instead of letting them shine.
So we're all basically snails in suitcases waiting for our moment to, I don't know, slime our way into the world.
Not quite.
Yeah.
The author's point is that we need to be more proactive.
Proactive.
About showcasing our abilities, about making ourselves impossible to ignore.
Okay, so you don't want to be a hidden snail.
We can't just wait to be discovered,
You got to put yourself out there.
Exactly.
All right, I'm starting to see where this is going.
Good.
So how do we break out of our shells and become, I don't know, dazzling butterflies or something?
That's where the author's unfinished sentence hack comes in.
Unfinished sentence.
Unfinished sentence.
That sounds like my high school English teacher's worst nightmare.
It does, doesn't it?
But go on, I'm intrigued.
So it's this really interesting communication technique.
Okay.
Designed to grab attention and create intrigue.
Interesting. Intrigued already.
It's actually quite clever.
Yeah.
The idea is that by leaving a sentence unfinished, you tap into our natural human curiosity.
Curiosity. Okay.
Humans hate loose ends.
We do. Loose ends are the worst.
We crave closure.
Closure, yeah, definitely.
So when you present an incomplete thought, it forces your audience to lean in and want to hear more.
It's like a cliffhanger.
It is, yeah.
In a bad soap opera.
Exactly.
Don't tell me you're a fan of those too.
Well, I mean, the principle is the same.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that.
The author uses this hilarious example in the text, and I'm going to quote it here.
Okay, hit me.
I thought the worst moment of my life was when I peed my pants in elementary school. But then I met the customs officer.
Okay, I gotta admit, that's pretty funny.
It is funny.
You're immediately wondering, what happened with that customs officer?
Yeah, what happened next?
It definitely makes you want to hear the rest of the story.
Exactly, and that's the power of this technique.
The power?
So it creates tension, it piques curiosity, and it makes your message stick in people's minds.
Okay, so it's sticky.
It is sticky, yeah, like a snail trail.
Oh, ew. All right, well, let's maybe not take the snail analogy too far.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Okay, so this unfinished sentence thing, it's more than just bad grammar.
Right, it's not about just, leaving sentences hanging for the sake of it.
Okay, yeah.
It's about being strategic.
Strategic.
So creating a gap.
A gap, like a knowledge gap.
Yeah, a knowledge gap that your audience feels compelled to fill.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. So how do we actually do that? Give me some real-world examples.
All right. Think about just everyday conversations.
Okay, every day.
You're telling a friend about your weekend, and you say something like, I went to that new cafe we talked about, and you wouldn't believe who was there.
Ooh, juicy gossip. I'm already hooked. See?
Tell me more.
You've piqued their interest.
Yes.
They're now dying to know who you saw and what went down.
Exactly.
That's the unfinished sentence in action.
Okay, so it works for, like, casual chats.
Sure.
But what about something more formal, like emails or presentations? Does it work there too?
It's surprisingly versatile.
Versatile, okay.
Imagine you're writing an email trying to get someone's attention, maybe a potential client or investor.
Okay, got it.
You could start with something like, I have a proposal that could revolutionize your marketing strategy, but...
But what? Spill the beans? See, it works.
Exactly. You've captured their attention.
They gotta know more.
They want to know what the catch is. What makes your proposal so revolutionary?
They need to know more.
You've created that need to know more. So it's all about, like, playing with expectations. Setting up a mini mystery.
Yeah, I like that. A mini mystery.
This is making me think about those clickbait headlines you see online. You know, the ones that are like, you won't believe what happened next.
There's definitely a connection there.
I knew it.
Clickbait headlines, they often use the same principle.
Yeah.
Dangling a piece of information to lure you in.
Right, right.
The difference is, in a good presentation or a good conversation, you're actually delivering on that promise.
Okay, so you're not just being tricky.
No, not at all.
You have to have the goods to back it up.
Exactly.
So substance matters.
Substance definitely matters.
The unfinished sentence, it's a tool.
It is a tool.
Like any tool, you can use it, effectively or poorly.
Like for good or for evil.
Exactly.
The goal isn't to deceive
Right.
or mislead,
You want to gauge.
but to engage, to intrigue your audience with a genuine message.
Okay, I like that. Genuine.
Real deal.
So, back to the snails.
Okay, the snail.
The snail analogy, how does that tie into all of this?
Well, remember those snails hidden in the suitcase?
Yeah, it's stuck in there.
They were only noticed when someone took the time to open the bag.
They had to be revealed.
Exactly.
It's like a metaphor, right?
It is. It is a metaphor.
So we can't just assume people will automatically see our value.
Right. We have to present ourselves in a way that grabs attention.
Make people curious.
That makes people curious, that makes them want to know more.
So we have to package ourselves, our ideas, like a captivating suitcase full of metaphorical snails.
Well, maybe not snails, but you get the idea.
I think I get it.
We have to stand out.
We got to stand out.
Make people want to know what we're all about.
What we're about.
Yeah, and this unfinished sentence thing, it's one way to do that.
To draw people in.
To draw people in, to make your message memorable.
This whole be the fireworks, not the snail idea.
See, the fireworks.
It's starting to grow on me.
Good, good.
It's about being bold, taking risks,
Mm.
and not being afraid to make a splash.
Exactly. And the author doesn't just leave us with these, abstract concepts.
There's more.
He provides practical advice on how to actually put these ideas into practice.
That's what I like, the practical stuff.
He dives deeper into these communication techniques in his book, Poetry Master.
Hold on, Poetry Master.
Poetry Master.
We're talking about snails, airport security, and now we're on to poetry.
Yeah.
This is quite the journey.
It is a journey.
It is. It is.
But stick with me here.
Okay.
Poetry Master, it explores the power of language.
The power of language.
In a broader sense.
Broader sense.
It's about using words effectively
Okay.
to create impact. Whether you're writing a speech, a blog post, or even just trying to win an argument with your partner.
Okay. Sold. I could definitely use some help in that
I
department.
think we all could.
So, besides becoming poets, what are some, key takeaways our listeners should remember from all of this?
I think the most important takeaway is don't underestimate the power of strategic communication.
Strategic communication.
It's not just about what you say,
It's how you say it.
but how you say it. Exactly.
Being intentional.
Being intentional with your words.
Crafting that message.
Crafting your message in a way that resonates and gets people thinking.
Like that unfinished sentence trick.
Like that unfinished sentence, exactly.
Keeps them coming back for more.
It's a good one.
It is.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Like, try
Experiment.
different approaches.
Find what works.
Find what works for you and your audience.
What works for you.
The key is to be authentic.
Authentic, okay.
And passionate.
About what you're communicating.
Because enthusiasm is contagious, right?
It is.
It's like when you're genuinely excited about something, people can feel it.
They can feel
They
it.
feed off of it.
They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So go forth, be bold, be creative, and most importantly, don't be a snail.
Don't be a snail.
Unleash your inner fireworks.
Ooh, fireworks. I like that.
Fireworks.
All right, I love it. And on that note,
We're going to take a quick pause.
a quick pause.
Don't go anywhere, though.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back to wrap things up and share some final thoughts. Okay, so we're back, and we've unpacked this whole 23 Snails thing.
We have, from slimy airport surprises to those unfinished sentences.
When does that leave you hanging?
Like a bad cliffhanger.
Exactly.
It's been a journey.
It really has. But for our listener, who's been with us this whole time, what's the, big takeaway? What should they be writing down in their, metaphorical notebooks?
I think the author would want us to remember this. Don't blend in.
You can blend in.
Don't be afraid to stand out, to be
That sounds
different,
interesting.
to be the metaphorical fireworks in a world full of, well, snails.
Easier said than done, right? I mean,
Yeah.
How do we actually do that? Besides, carrying a suitcase full of giant snails through customs.
Well, the unfinished sentence technique, that's a great starting point.
Okay, yeah.
It's about being deliberate with your communication, creating intrigue, making people lean in and want to know more.
And it's not just about being clever or gimmicky, right?
Yeah.
You got to have that substance.
Exactly. You have to back up those attention-grabbing tactics with real value.
So think of it like this, okay? You've got this amazing gift,
Okay.
this talent, this idea that you want to share with the world, but it's hidden inside a plain brown box.
A plain brown box.
The unfinished sentence is like tying a big, bright bow on that box,
Yeah.
making it impossible to ignore.
I love that analogy.
That's a good one, right? But what about those of us who, aren't naturally gifted with the gab? Like, any tips for the communication challenged folks out there?
Well, the author actually addresses this in Poetry Master.
Okay.
He talks about how anyone can improve their communication skills with practice and the right tools.
So it's not just for poets.
Not at all. It's for anyone who wants to learn how to use language more effectively, whether it's in writing, speaking, or even just thinking.
Thinking, wow.
It's about understanding the power of words
Yeah.
and how they can shape perceptions, inspire action, and ultimately make a difference.
And honestly, who couldn't use a little more of that in their lives, right?
Yeah.
Being able to express yourself clearly and persuasively, that's like such a valuable skill no matter what you do.
It really is.
It's about connecting with people, building relationships, and sharing your unique perspective with the world.
Your unique perspective, that's what matters.
So to our listener out there, who might be feeling a little bit like a snail right now,
A little sluggish.
remember this. You have something special to offer.
You do.
Don't be afraid to break out of that shell, tie a giant bow on your ideas, and let those fireworks fly.
Let them fly. And if you need a little help finding your inner spark,
Your inner spark.
Poetry Master is a great place to start.
Couldn't agree more. So, on that note, we're signing off for today.
We are.
Keep those snail analogies coming. And, as always, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Until next time.
Be creative, Stefan.